Welcome to this tutorial, which will teach you how to insert footnotes using Microsoft Word. This tutorial is presented by Professor Seth Offenbach at Bronx Community College. To insert a footnote is relatively simple, actually. You put your cursor at the end of the sentence or paragraph where you want it to be. I'm going to leave it over there. You go to the top of the screen, to the References tab, and you hit Insert Footnote. It's actually that simple. Down at the bottom of the screen, you see the number 1 where you can type your reference. At the top of the page, the number 1 is where I left the cursor. The basic reasons why we need to insert citations are so that the reader knows where you got your information from, where you got your inspiration from. The point of it basically is so that the writer is leaving breadcrumbs for the reader so that he or she knows where you got your information from. There are 2 specific reasons why we need to cite in all cases. One is direct quotes. If you think that someone else wrote something in a really good manner, if you like what they wrote, you thought it was powerful and impactful, you want to directly quote it. You put quotation marks around the sentence, and you insert a footnote at the end of the sentence. Very simple. The other reason is if you got the ideas or facts or even inspiration from another person, right? If they inspired you, if they gave you ideas, then you want to let the world know, this person inspired me. It's okay to do this, you just want to tell people. You do tell people through footnotes. I'm going to show you an example of something I wrote over here about the New York Mets. I wrote that the New York Mets have a promising future. They have an excess of young players right now, starting with their pitching staff. Young guns like Matt Harvey, Zach Wheeler, Jacob deGrom, and Jenry Mejia. In addition, they have prospects Rafael Montero and Noah Syndergaard. In short, the Mets have an excess of pitching that might help the Mets return to excellence. This came from an article I read in AM New York. Mets excess pitching calls for future moves. And it talks about all these different Mets pitchers who are good, such as the young guns Matt Harvey, Zach Wheeler, Jacob deGrom, Jenry Mejia, and the prospects Montero and Syndergaard. You'll note that the exact same language is used, right? The excess of pitching, the term young guns, and the names of the people are all in the same order. So this article clearly inspired me. So what I do, let me open both at the same time to make life easier. What I do is I go over here at the end of the paragraph, and at the end of the paragraph over here, I insert the footnote, right? References, insert footnote. You see the number 1 down there. To do this, I then type in the author of the article. In this case, it was Ben Strack. We can see it up there. Ben Strack, comma, and then quotations around the title of the article. Here the title is Mets Excess Pitching Calls for Future Moves, comma, quotation marks. The point of the quotation marks is to tell the author, to tell the reader that he's reading the article title. Articles always get put in quotation marks. And then in italics, we'd put the name of the organization where this came from, right? It came from AM New York. You can see up here, AM New York. So I would write AM New York. Italics tells you it's the name of the organization. Quotation marks the name of the article. And then the date. This was written on June 30th, 2014. So I will write June 30th, 2014, one more comma, for the URL. Right? Copy the URL in all of its many letters and numbers glory, and you have a very long citation, but there it is. That's how the author or the reader can know this is where I got my ideas from. I have now cited it, and it is perfectly acceptable to keep this paragraph. But my next paragraph says, right, the problem is that some of these pitchers are getting hurt. Matt Harvey is out for the year with surgery, and Jenry Mejia is also hurting. Since the Mets can't make the playoffs this year, Joe Janish of Mets Today wonders, why haven't the Mets yet shut down Jenry Mejia? This is a very good question, and I thought it should stay in the paragraph, but I didn't write it, so I want to cite it, insert footnote, and the number 2 you'll see is down there. This came from the article over here. The quote was over here that the Mets, here we go, why haven't the Mets yet shut down Jenry Mejia? Up here, why haven't the Mets yet shut down Jenry Mejia? Again, who wrote the article? I go to the top of the page, over here, Joe Janish, comma, the title is, Should Mets Shut Down Jenry Mejia? Should Met shut down Genry Mejia. There's actually a question mark at the end of that. Italics. What's the name of the website? The name of the organization is Mets Today. So again, Mets Today. The date, it was from August 22nd, 2010. So August 22nd, 2014, not 2010, comma, and then the URL. This is a pretty simple method and a pretty simple model. I do recommend that all students ask professors before they start writing their paper if they have any changes or differences to make in terms of formats for citations, but this is a pretty good starting point in making internet citations easy for people using Chicago Manual of Style. Thank you. Have a good day.